technical analysis. The goddess of technicals. What's up, shooters? What is the story? Let me lower all these squawks. Oops.
Georgia Stacey Abrams was.
Sounds like my governor saying with a benchmark Selic rate of 2%, we imagine mortgage rates would be a little lower.
All right, I'm ready. I think. So what's shaking? Everybody doing okay? Chop, chop, premium berm, chop, sticky, market makers, bastards. I got my coffee, I got Jules. I got a little root beer here, I'm a little parched. And I'm ready to rock and roll. All right, so let's get started. I think I muted everything here, right? Yeah, good. Tactical, Fred. The T word. It's all about being and remaining tactical. But let's catch up a little bit, all right? Again, I know I spoke to most of you on Sunday for the members only webinar, but we have Twitter on here as well. So let me get them all up to speed here, and we'll go through just basically an update on things. I don't think much has changed since the last we spoke as far as where we are, right? We're in a melt up. It's pretty obvious. You know, initially it started in pockets, right? Gold, silver, tech stock, software, stay at home, and now has spilled over a bit. I wouldn't necessarily say they're in a melt up, but the melt-up theme has spilled over into some economically sensitive names, cyclical plays, and stuff like that over, you know, what's said is positive vaccine news. Now, I don't know what's so positive that came out besides Russia having some Fugazi vaccine. Other than that, it's been the same old, same old. You know, we're getting, you know, everybody's in a rush to get the vaccine, and then in the next breath, you know, they all swear they're not going to take the vaccine because it's been rushed through trials. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. But anyway, when the market wants to do what the market wants to do, it's going to find a reason, right? So that's been basically the explanation for the recent push higher in some of these economically sensitive names. If you remember, we've talked about how it needed to happen, right? Whether it came at the very, very end or happened earlier in the process, a lot of us thought it would happen earlier in the process. They can't go ignored for so long. And these economically sensitive names have been ignored for longer than I thought they would be throughout a good portion of this rally. I'm not talking about the cruise lines that aren't in business anymore. You pick Kamala Harris? Interesting. I'm not talking about the cruise lines that aren't functioning right now. You know, I'm talking about just your traditional blue chip Caterpillars of the world, right? All those names we were looking at that didn't look bad. They just were dead, right? They were dead as a doornail. No interest, no selling, but just no interest on the buy side. Okay, and as you can see, the majority of these things have broken out of that range in a sense. Okay, so that's what's changed. I mean, and on top of that, we finally, all our jaws have been dropping over some of the moves in these tech software, stay at home, new economy, new leader type names, right? They're all worthy of attention. They're all worthy of trading at higher multiples than everybody else, right? These are new leaders. But to say it got overdone is an understatement, right? They got carried away. And what we have started to see, and we were seeing it for a couple of weeks now, but we started to see cracks and started to see the D-dogs of the world start to, right, go through a little headwind, okay? Not all of them have come off much, right? You got names like still like SE that just started selling. So it's not like these things have gotten absolutely whacked and the air's come out of them. But, you know, you could see they're in the midst of some digestion. They're in the midst of a breather per se, right? Whether that results in more weakness, quite possibly. And we'll see, you know, we'll see how and when that comes to an end, all right? What's interesting now is that a lot of us, and I wanted to actually touch on this with the chart in front of me. I didn't even post it yet. If you guys remember, we were talking about how a melt up is misleading, right? You hear the term melt up and a lot of people just automatically assume it's easy money. You can buy anything out there and, you know, buy calls on anything and it's going to trade higher because we're in a melt up, right? So it's very misleading. A melt up at times, right, and this one in particular, from my experience, are actually tougher to trade than, you know, your normal rallies. And that's because of the lack of participation behind it. Okay, just think now, right? We're in a melt up phase. You have a lot of the leaders rolling over, showing cracks, right? You have really no rhyme or reason in regards to rotation. Biotech's hot one day, biotech's selling hard the next day, right? You have this constant rotation that's held up the markets for, it feels like, you know, weeks now. And it's tough to really find anything risk reward worthy of position or swing trading, right? So, you know, what goes a melt up, if along with the melt up comes a lot more risk, a lot more choppiness, right? A lot more of that sticky price action. That's not bullish, right? So the melt up, what the melt up does, it benefits the players who have exposure to the indices, are sitting on profitable positions and are letting them go, letting them run, right? That's who benefits the most out of the melt up. If you have a SPY bet, right, that you made earlier on in this rally and you've rolled up strikes, right, or you own the ETF equity and you're holding on to it, that's who benefits most from the melt up, okay? Obviously, maybe you got lucky and you're in a name that has been a significant part of the melt up, like an Apple, okay? But, you know, a lot of that's luck, especially when you're looking for new opportunities here. You know, think about the risk you had to take. You had to buy into earnings, right? Hold through earnings, then watch, you know, a good portion of tech roll over and Apple buck the trend, right? Or AMD, which was one of the few semis that post earnings continued to push higher while the rest of the group kind of got sticky. All right, so there's a lot of luck. There's a lot more risk involved. And for me, when I see that, right, when I see that type of risk reward in front of me, and it feels like I gotta force myself to really have conviction and like something for a swing, that's when, and I'm a fill or kill type player. I'm sure most of you degenerates are the same way. That's where I just strictly like to move to being in tactical mode, right? And we talked about that, if you guys remember, for the last couple, since we've got into earnings season, we've been talking about these additional risks and how playing tactically was probably the best way to go risk reward wise. All right. And for those of you who are new to the webinar, unfamiliar with tactical, I'll give you the exact definition. Okay. Here's the definition for it. Visa today. Okay. Off the open, market strong, MasterCard already looks great. Okay. All these sideways rotation names are starting to move, catch flow. Visa has seen bullish flow even before earnings, but earnings were in the way, if you remember, we were talking about it. Then automatically, right out of the gate this morning, catches a nice handful of solid sweeper activity, right? At a reasonable spot, right? It's not overextended. It's not, you're not chasing, right? As like MasterCard would be, you're chasing a bit, right? Already has pushed out of that consolidation. All right. And then you get a killer move, okay? A killer move. This is a 5-minute. It doesn't even do it justice. Let me put the 1 minute up here, okay? Because most of you were a part of it and traded it intraday, okay? So you get this move, boom, action right off the open. You have an entry there, and it just rips higher throughout the morning, okay? When you're in tactical mode, okay, the way you're looking at stuff is you're saying, okay, because of the added risks out there, because of the chop, because of the stickiness, because of everything we spoke about, I'm going to take what the market gave me with a lot less risk, okay, and not concern myself about the stock going higher in a couple of weeks, right? And you take that Visa profit off the table, and if the stock is higher in a couple of weeks, it doesn't bother you because that's trading tactically, right? So that's what a lot of us have been doing. That's what, primarily I've been doing. I haven't even thought much about swinging anything new, as you guys know, because of everything going on. But it's just taking what the market's willing to give you with as little risk as possible and staying nimble. All right. And that's what the tactical approach, that's the playbook we've been following since the start of earnings season. All right. And you may be saying that, well, the market, the market's higher than where it was at the start of earnings season. So playing tactical may not have been the best way to go. If you take a step back and look under the hood at individual names, they don't all look like this, right? I can give you a list of names that are down, quite dramatically since the market has been in melt-up mode since the start of earnings season. All right, so the sloppiness plays a big part in why you want to remain tactical here, okay? So where are we now? If you remember last week, and for members, we've been talking about this quite often of late. What would put an end to this sloppiness, right? What would present a better picture risk reward wise for it to be worth the risk in swing trading positions again? What would need to happen? Okay. And we talked about that punch in the jaw to the bulls, right? So in simple English, what that means is a quick washout, right? Where sloppy bulls who are chasing and are plowing in, right? Some of these late arrival non-believer bulls that are just getting in now get that little punch to the jaw for chasing extended names. They wash them out. You get some solid breath behind the washout. Okay, and it's usually short term, meaning a couple days, sometimes a week. And in other words, the breath, you get a lot of names washing out with it. So you'll get tech, you'll get the rotation names, everything comes down together for a couple days. Okay, even if it happened a day or two, it would do a lot of help. Okay, and what that will open up a window for a snapback rally, when that snapback squeeze comes, there's going to be a lot of participation behind that squeeze, right? So now we don't have to rely on getting lucky and worrying about if the name we're playing action off of is going to be up with the market tomorrow, right? Because that's what's been happening. You get the NASDAQ up, the Dow down, the Russell up, S&P down. Then the next day, NASDAQ up, Dow down, right? There's no rhyme or reason. Every other day, you don't know what the hell's going on. All right, but overall, the market has been lifting higher. If we do get that washout, that snapback squeeze will have a lot stronger participation behind it. Okay, no matter what it is. It maybe we see sweeper activity come into tech, into that washout. Okay, but we'll know that it's going to be a nice snapback squeeze with a lot of tech involved, a good portion of tech. So in other words, you can have that conviction again. I talk about that lack of conviction I've had in individual names, right, since before the start of earnings season. That's what would alleviate that lack of conviction, in my opinion. All right. The issue is during melt-ups, it doesn't happen. Hence a melt-up, right? That's what a melt-up is. Melt-up, it continues to melt up, and you rarely get that punch in the jaw, okay? But what happens is, if that continues, you reach a point where that punch in the jaw can't save you anymore, because everybody's in the pool, everybody is long, and when the market does finally experience some selling, what happens? There's a lot of selling that comes, right? Because everybody's in the pool, everybody's long, and now you have the danger of a lot of supply coming to the market with a lack of buying, and that can stem into something bigger. All right, so we're there now. In a sense, we need to see some bulls rattled here over a short period of time. Okay, otherwise, I think if this continues any longer from this point, the risk of buying that dip becomes a lot more dangerous. And that's what changes, guys. What changes is when the stuff we look at finally flashes caution, okay, that doesn't mean the market stops going up that day. It's not a crystal ball. What it means is when the music stops and the market does decide to roll over and trigger selling, we can't be as eager to buy that dip anymore. That's what it tells us. That's simple, right? We've been talking about any weakness we can get our hands on, right, from basically the lows, is an opportunity on the long side. Once we get to the point where the stuff we look at sentiment-wise, positioning-wise, is full and signaling caution, that buy the dip mentality we have to do away with. All right, so that's what I mean when I say we are getting to the point where if we do not see that quick washout, things get a lot more dangerous from here on any washout. All right, so here's where we're at. We do this every week. Goldman posts that little rundown of indicators, and I'll show you what it looks like. Oh, look, some SPY put buying after the thing now. Very nice. Where are we at? Here we are. Oh, the Zoom link. I don't see a Zoom link. I posted it on my regular Twitter, that's why. Let me see. Did I? Where does it say how many people in there? Oh, no, it looks like a lot of people in there. All right, so this is what we look like on the Goldman indicators, okay? The current diamond is the dark blue diamond. All right? So you can see here, we don't look too bad, right? The short-term stuff, right? Even that cooled off a little bit, but the short-term stuff still closer to bullish extreme, right? And that's been the case every time the market rallies. But look at this. All right, so we still are in good shape positioning-wise, as far as sentiment's concerned. But I want to add a disclaimer that these could start moving quick once they get to neutral. You know what I mean? Especially during a melt-up. They can move quick. All right, so that's what we need right now. We could use even a 1-2 day punch in the jaw, get these things shoot, and we look for some sweeper activity into that, and we should see some greater participation on the snapback squeeze that follows. All right, so that's sentiment. Not much change, right? Not much changed. Not anything huge. This has changed a bit, and this is the average of all the indicators where they are right now. Every Tuesday, I get it from Goldman. It's updated every week. I post it in the room and on private Twitter every Tuesday. All right, so that's where we are, right? Just under neutral as a whole. And again, there's a lot of positioning stuff in these indicators, okay? This is hedge fund exposure. You know, we've been watching this closely. All right, for anybody who's new, hedge funds have been short the whole entire rally up to June-ish, then finally started to cover, and then got long into July, started to get long into July, and you can see they've been picking up the pace, okay? If we melt up from here and they're forced to chase, right? If we melt up, continue to melt up without some sort of pause or stall, what's going to happen is these guys are going to be forced in to be fully loaded, okay? That doesn't mean, again, that doesn't mean that the market blows up. There's not a timer that goes off and all of a sudden stocks go from green to red and crash, okay? What it means is that, again, once they are all in on the long side, any trigger to sell, and you run the risk of some heavy selling pressure, margin calls, all the fun stuff, okay? And if you remember, I've been saying for a while that from my experience, when you get this type of a setup or a correction or a crash like we had, usually the end, right? The end of the story, when you go to the end of the book, the very end of the book, these guys end up here. That's usually how the story goes. All right, so they're getting closer. They're picking up the pace. They're not there yet. And this is, this is something that's a pain in the rear end too, added risk. You got the put the call fried for a number of reasons, right? This is an average of put the call. But we are at a spot again where usually if you're going to get that punch in the jaw that we're looking for, it's going to happen. You're at that spot again. Doesn't mean it has to happen. We want it to happen, right? But that's usually where what it is the market could catch the spec bulls now, right? They can wipe them out. All these riffraff call buyers who are in weeklies and bi-weeklies, the market can wipe them out in one shot here. That's usually what it does. Reels them in, And then when it has enough of them, gives them the slip. So it can do that. And then, as you can see, like in the past, depending on how vicious of a wash it is, you could get the put the call back to normal or even bullish levels. All right. Well, let's not jump the gun yet. We need to see the punch in the jaw first. All right. So that's where we're at right now. That's where we're at right now. Otherwise, for me, like, and I told this we spoke about this with members Sunday. I don't see the appeal or it even worth building a decent sized position for a swing 6 months out right now. I don't see it. You know what I mean? I don't see it. I think right now, the best risk rewards on the tactical end, a lot less risk there, hence less reward, but a lot less risk there. And, this is another thing we've been talking about with members. It's not like the tactical approach has been a struggle. It's been really good. I'd be honest with you guys. If the short-term nimble approach was tough as well, I'd be honest and say, listen, it's just tough right now, period. It's a good time to just sit on what you own, what you've been in. If you rolled up, whatever you're holding, continue to hold. There's no reason to sell that if you have time and options, whatever. But just don't look to put on too much new risk as far as swing position, But the short-term tactical way has been rewarding. We see it over and over and over again. You could have traded some of these rotation plays a day, 2 days, flip them out, take your money, and you don't have to worry about any of the added risk out there, right? Which a lot of you have been doing, right? The airlines. Now you get the quick pop, cheap stocks, make your money, call it a day. A lot of people obviously see the allure of, but if the economy reopens and everything's beautiful and we're doing cartwheels all over the streets, AAL may be a $20 stock. But you don't realize at that time how much pain and agony and at best chop and weakness you got to sit through to get there. So the market gives you 13 and high change, God forbid 15. You take that and put a smile on your face. DD. A lot of you traders, look, I didn't even see it reverse today. But you know what I mean? You get 3 straight up days at a consolidation there. Yeah, fine. It may be higher in 3 to 6 months. But take it and run, right? So most of you see what I'm talking about, but I'm even stressing to some of the newer traders out there that, you got to trade. You can't trade the same way each and every climate and environment. If we were coming out of a pull or coming out of a correction as a whole, right, you could say, you know what, it's worth sitting through this reversal. It's worth giving up these short-term profits because it's early in the rally. This is the sweet spot. So the reward is worth holding on for more. But now, what's in front of us now, it's not worth it. You understand? It's not worth that risk. And that's the major difference. That's the major difference. And listen, we are seeing, the good thing about what we're seeing now is we're seeing a lot of the names we're interested in sell off. You know what I mean? A lot of the tech, new leadership names, right? The names that we all, like I said the last time, we all owned at one time, but sold them thinking, they can't run anymore. And they doubled and tripled from there, for Christ's sake. So we're starting to see at least a little breather out of these things. All right. And what that allows us to do is at least we can go back to trading them at some point when we see some buying come into them. They were untradeable, right? They weren't tradable when you have names that go absolutely parabolic and are up every day. You can't even look at them anymore. So there's good things starting to happen out there, right? But we got to be patient and just allow things to set up. Yeah, Fiserv. I mean, like, if you like the name and you already understand that buying March calls you're going to hold, and it doesn't bother you that the stock may be lower over the next couple of months, forget weeks, couple of months, then you buy Fiserv and tuck it away. But if it's going to bother you that the stock's trading 98, the stock may be 92, and that's going to get to you, or that's going to annoy you, and you're going to be angry at yourself, then I don't see the reason to buy it. You know what I mean? That applies to everything, guys. Otherwise, I'd be looking to swing trade some of the decent action out there, And listen, some of them I missed winners, but for the most part, I've avoided more chop and losers than winners, and that's all of that. That's all that matters. That's all it means. It's a numbers game. It's a numbers game. I want to swing stuff when I have the highest probability of those swing trades working. No? Right? So that's the way I'm looking at things. I mean, does anybody have any questions on anything I mentioned here? As far as playing tactical, the strategy and what we look for? Yes, I'll definitely go over McElliott and what McElliott has been talking about. And McElliott's been pretty much on the same page for a bit. He was looking for the rotation, and we got the rotation. But I'll talk a little bit, Peter, of his recent note and why that rotation is happening. But before we go on to that, anybody have any questions on anything we mentioned? Because it's funny, like, we'll talk about this, and there's quite a few of you, especially members, who come on these webinars, right? And then, I see you guys talking in the room the next day and, complaining that a tech stock is down. And, like, why is it down? You should know exactly why it's down. You should know exactly what's going on right now. Okay, again, since the start of earnings season in individual names, your hit rate, your win rate on any swings in names, individual names I'm talking now, was going to come down dramatically. We were warning and talking about that. All the signs were out there crystal clear regarding it. So, that's why we hold these webinars. That's why, we go over this stuff. We don't expect you to understand it thoroughly, but that's why we hold these webinars and try to make you guys aware of it. Yeah, they've been, listen, you're 100% right, Nathan? We thought that these things got carried away a long time ago. They overdid it and then some. Right? So it's totally normal. But anyway, now a lot of these on the other side of rotation now, the stuff they've been rotating into, okay, the more economically sensitive names, after today's first half of the day move, they become riskier now, right? Why? Because you run for basically a week straight, okay? And here's the problem with these things. Unlike the tech stocks and the new leaders, right, that we talk about, you have sellers out to wazoo stuck in these names, okay? So it's not that easy for these things to put significant rallies in a straight line together. It's rare, right? So what happens is, you get a couple days up like this, and then people take some profit and it comes right back down, right? So even an up move comes more of a choppy grind higher rather than some of those software names that just went up 8 straight days in a row. All right, so you're going to see this. So today, a lot of these things were reversed late in the day. Otherwise, you would have had the risk. You can't buy them here now. You have to let these things breathe and then see how they look after some breathing and consolidations there. All right, so that's what we're going to see now. That's what we're going to see. If we get a little punch to the jaw, right, which I'm hoping for. Otherwise, I'm still going to just do what I've been doing and not swing trade. But if we do get a punch to the jaw, we're going to see some of these names come in, right? So this thing this thing closed here, right? So it'll look like this. And maybe consolidate here. And you'll have some of the tech stocks come in some more, okay? We're going to see if they want to buy these things off of that, right? If they want to buy the names they're rotating into now, or they're going to buy the tech stocks that have been selling off. All right, we're going to see what sweepers want to do. If they come in and sweep this, you can buy that off some consolidation. If they don't, and they're buying tech, you can buy tech off a decent pull. So that's what it allows us to do. That's what it allows us to do. Tech is even closer because tech has been selling. Some of those tech names you can probably look for short-term swing trades in for bounce trades off any additional weakness from here. If we see sweeper activity, worthwhile. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like Doku, right? You're asking about Doku. So here you go here, right? You got a huge move. Huge, right? Huge. So for like me already, right? When I see a move like this is not my cup of tea. Like I missed the boat here. I actually own Doku. I'm not even going to tell you because I'm embarrassed. But anyway, I had my chance to own Doku. Okay? It's a lot higher than where I got out of Doku. So the only way I'm looking at Doku right now is for a tactical trade. What do I mean by that? If I see sweeper activity come into Doku tomorrow, okay, if I like it, I'm going to play a snapback squeeze over the short term. Okay? And meaning I'm not going to hold it for new highs again, but I'm going to just look for that snapback off this selling. All right. For new highs again, that's that R word. There's more risk. Right? There's more risk. Why is there more risk? Because at this point, after a move like this, the logic says that Doku goes into some consolidation before potentially another move higher. You look back, like let's look back at some names here, right? Some big winners. Look at this, SE. Okay? See, monster winner, right? SE was a monster winner here too. Big move, right? Finally topped out. Here's a perfect example, SE. So look, here's the pull, just like you showed me in Doku. If you see buyers come into here, here's your snapback. You take that off the table. Now, if you're holding for new highs again, there's your added risk that it just needs to consolidate more, right? Look, still bullish. It just needed to breathe. It needed to digest this move. All right. But the point is, tactically, right? Again, I'm going to keep using that word to drill in your heads. there's money to be made, right? You could have bought this dip if there was, for me, unless there's sweepers, I'm not playing it. But if there's sweepers into this dip, I could have traded that. If there's sweepers into this dip, I could have traded that, right? If there were sweepers into this dip, even if I was a bit early, I could have traded that. So there's still money to be made, but you're just looking to buy them off weakness and sell the rips. Again, tactical. If you don't want to be bothered with all that, you have to try to let it breathe for a while. Because they've had big moves. They don't have to breathe. Sometimes they don't. Okay? But if you want to move to last, they got to breathe. Right? Doku can't just go run to new highs and pull another move like this out of its rear end and this market be healthy. Yeah, same thing. Fastly, actually, you got even a bigger pull, right? Well, actually, you don't. My bad. Jesus. I thought it was down more than that off the highs. But same thing. So you would look, personally, I would look for sweeper activity from this point, okay? And I'd play for a snapback rally. Okay, again, I want to make clear, I'm not playing for new highs. You may want to do that. Just understand that you may get caught in this, right? You may get caught in this. Which one had sweeper activity? Oh, TDOC, yeah. But they're weeklies, right? TDOC caught a sweeper yesterday, and I don't even know, did they stick to open interest? He might have sold them, no? I think they were weeklies. I think my buddy traded them. I think they were weeklies. Let me see, hold on. Yesterday's you're talking about, oh, I think you're talking call spreads. That wasn't a sweep, October, I think. Hold on. Oh, get this off, hold on. Not to say it could catch a sweeper and still go down. I'm not saying that's why it went down. Here it is, weeklies. So it caught early in the morning, a little after 10 o'clock, weekly 200s at 10 o'clock yesterday. I'm almost positive it had a decent bounce because I think my buddy said he played it, but I could be wrong. I didn't play it. Let me see. Yesterday was, what was yesterday? Oh, here it is. So here it is. They bought it over here. See? So that, and that's what I'm stressing, guys. If it's not for you, then you can't play them off weeklies, okay? This, they hit it when the stock was 186, 185, and the stock went to 195. Now, again, that's not a huge move for TDOC, but they're weeklies, right? You can't look at it the same way. You can't look at TDOC based off what the run it just had a month ago and think you're going to catch that in weeklies now. It's a different environment. You know what I mean? This thing, you had ample opportunity to take some profit, in my opinion. If you're looking for more, there is a hell of a lot more risk that comes with it. And just understand that. You may be cool with it. Size down, put less money in. But what I'm telling you is your win rate is dropping dramatically, and there's a lot more risk in this current climate, the way it is right now. All right, but TDOC also healthy, right? Look at that. Think about it. this is what you want to see if you wanted to try to own this stock again, right? A lot of you did own this stock and sold it, and were pissed that you sold it. But now you're getting another down move here. And eventually, hopefully, it finds a bottom, a base, wherever it may be. God forbid you get a nice size sweep in it, you're good to go with some time, you know? So this is good that it's happening. It's good that it's happening. Just right now, we still got to stay tactical until we get a little bit more. All right, we get a little bit more. Last June, 170-ish last June. Which name, John? This? Oh, over here. Over this, right? Yeah. You had a little breather here. So you go through this. It's a good stock, you know, it's a good name. And that's why I'm happy. I was you know, I don't know about you guys, but I was quite frustrated that these names continue to go higher because unlike you guys, some of you still trade them. I don't trade them. I just automatically don't even look at them. You know, so now I can look at these things again. What? Is that fake news, Matt? Stop it. Oh my God. Tesla 5-for-1 split? It looks like it. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my Lord. You believe this? Tesla 5-for-1 split. Wow. Damn. And that was setting up nice, this Tesla, right? See the breather? Big move. And now look, you know, you're getting a nice breather here. There goes that breather. SPY split. Oh, they just, you see what I mean? They just don't want us to get this punch in the jaw. That's bullish. It's bullish. I mean, in reality, it's not bullish, but people want to own it for the split. You know, Apple. You saw what happened to Apple. Let me tell you something. Not to go show my age again, but in 1999, this is exactly what was happening. All these names announced splits, and they all went cuckoo. Cuckoo. STNE. Yeah, I can't. I can't. You see all the red there? I can't. I know I got a buddy of mine too who likes this name a lot, STNE. But you got to wait for a breather, I think, here. You know, you may not even, I don't know much about it, but if it's that bullish, right, because I know quite a few people who like this name. I don't know why. What is this, fintech or something? You might just get this grind like this. You know what I mean? You just might get this continued grind. But, you know, up here, tough. Oh, is that what it is? Take over Target? Yeah, I know the name. I owned it once before. D-Dog looks good. I think it's just time. D-Dog looks good. Like, we all know D-Dog. Again, a lot of us played it. You had a huge move. Huge. Right? Look at this. This is totally healthy, guys. Totally healthy. It's just because of the magnitude of this rally, you need time. You need time. Okay? So this might take time. It's not even how much further it has to go down. It's how much time it needs to digest. All right? But I'll tell you what I'd be on the lookout for in D-Dog. What I would look for is what a lot of us played it off of initially, if you remember. I think they were, what were they, October sweeps? Remember the big orders that came into D-Dog? So I would just look for good-looking orders with time, and that would be my tip-off to start looking for entries with time. For trades, you just, again, you want to play tactically, right? So here's a good spot to start looking. And, you know, you want to see some decent sweeper activity that's going to give you a heads up that maybe a little bounce is coming. You know, a bounce up to fill this gap, maybe. So a lot of these names, that's what I'm saying. If, again, hypothetical punch in the jaw, right? You get everything sell off. Let's say, now thanks to Tesla, probably not. But let's say tomorrow we walk in, you get some selling, breadth is 5-to-1, decliners to advancers, everything's down. D-Dog is weak. The rotation names are weak. Everything's weak. The good thing is these things already started to correct. So I think it won't be too long till you see some buying in these things for a bounce. You know what I mean? So that's why there's no reason to be discouraged if we get that little quick sell-off, because I think they're going to find some money to put to work rather quickly in some stuff. PayPal, what a monster. Same thing like the others. You know, if it's just a normal pull, you probably don't have too much further to go, and then look for buying. But again, I would stay tactical on this because, you know, you don't have much of a correction. You know what I mean? So if it does rally, you probably get more of this, like. Right? You get that uptrend step ladder type thingy. But eventually, you know, it's going to have a correction where it breaks that uptrend. Square, I think Square is still strong, isn't it? Oh, came in a little bit. Same thing. Same thing. So again, you're not that far away from trades already, guys. You know what I mean? Like bounce trades. You're not that far. You're almost there on a lot of these names. Yeah, Tesla, I mean, what are you going to do? Stock split. Who the hell? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. All right. So listen, the good news is, all right, the good news, and until that changes, I'm going to be singing a different tune once it changes. So be ready for it. But the good news is that the riffraff are still short. Okay. And the Sharpies are still quite long. And, you know, we want to look for opportunities when they present themselves. Right? Until that changes. When that does change, I don't play the short side, as a lot of you know, so I'll be doing a lot of sitting on my hands. Kevin, honestly, I wish I could tell you yes, but it's always different. It's always different. See, like if we knew gold or silver was going to be, you know, a leader of the melt up, we would have bought that, right? I mean, we saw the flow there. I didn't buy it. Maybe you did. You know, so it all depends. It all depends. Every market phase is different. You know, there's similarities, but they're different in a big way. We've never been a part of this. You know, this is a whole different ball game. This is a virus. This is the Fed throwing in the kitchen sink like we never saw it before. you know? Yeah, Matt, that right there, what you just said, Matt, is the reason I think we can't get much of a punch in the jaw, right? That's why. I think that's the sole reason. But I gotta believe that even, you know, even a little, we could get maybe a little dip out of it. But you're right, we might need shorties to cover before it does it, right? That's probably what we're gonna need before we get a punch in the jaw. And what Matt is referring to is this. Let me get the other chart to be different. Where is it? Oh. So these are, this is the riffraff indicator, right? And the last little breather we had was this right here. That's when the riffraff covered some of their short position. Right there. If you check the date, that was right here. So the riffraff covered this short into the highs here. And then we got this little punch in the jaw. See that little punch in the jaw? And you see what came out of that? Like, that's the beauty of these little breathers. Like, look at this. Right? So now you just had a quick reset and washout. And then all the names that get swept coming out of that, you get broad participation. And then as it continues to push higher, less and less. You know, less and less. So, but that's what Matt is referring to. We may need to see this before we get some sort of breather. In other words, look where they are. You know, they're still net short. All right, and the problem is if we don't get that punch in the jaw, sooner than later, you're going to get, it's not even visible on the screen yet, but you see how quick like this move was down here? You're going to get a quick move like that and then party over. DSI, I don't get anymore, the DSI. The panic euphoria has been up at the same place for like the last quarter of this rally. The DSI, I stopped getting actually a while now. Well, not a while, but probably at least a month or so ago. Yeah. I still get the panic euphoria. I'll post it. All right. So this is in my opinion, this is a lot right now. This is everything right now for me. You know, when this indicator gets, when this indicator gets to here is when, or close to here, I should say. I'm not going to wait till it gets there. Similar to the last rally, for those of you who were around. Like, I pretty much went in all cash and just ignored any call activity and any buying here. I sold out of everything I had and had no interest in putting on any additional swing risk at all. So I was a little early, you know, where it actually, look at that. Bink. That's when you won't be calling me a perma bull anymore. Again, I won't be shorting, but I'll be in all cash, majority cash. And it could happen quick, especially if we continue to melt from here. All right, what else? What other names? I got some action out of today's session to show you before we wrap it up. Let's see here. We're a couple of decent orders to keep an eye on for tactical trades. Here was the Visa action. Again, a lot of you guys flipped it already. Still looks good longer term, but you're gonna have to deal with stop and go fits. December 210's nice bet there. We'll see if some of this August stuff even sticks to open interest. They might have flipped. This name had some real nice action too. The real. And I know a few of you that flipped this too. But look at this. Better setup, post earnings, and there was a Feb sweep that was really good looking today. Where is it? Right here. Then you got BHC spec action. So I would keep an eye on it for quick trades the rest of the week. I had a quick move off the action as it usually does. I got a half a position in BHC that I rolled up in Jan's. So I have some exposure to it still. Here. You can see it got a little crazy here. Boop, 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 boop. This name had some nice buying with time behind it. I think this is movie theater. CNK, March 12.5 calls. Some post earnings action there. CNK, Charlie, Nancy, Kevin. This is what this looks like. Right? Isn't this the movie theater name? So you got a lot of time behind it, March. For any of you bottom fishers looking to tuck away something. Nice action. Legitimate sweeps. Off a little niner here. Any of you catch that Goldman niner? That was a decent quick trade. And who knows? Maybe Goldman has some more to go. Car. This is not initial activity. This thing caught some decent sized sweeps last week. CAR. It's been moving this week. Doesn't look too bad. This is like Hertz. This is Avis, but I guess healthier. Got hot here the last time we had some rotation. And they started buying it last week. So you have a little extension here. You probably want to wait for a little pause if you're interested. But that was some of the better looking action out there today. Oops. OSTK. I mean, that's in La La Land. OSTK, forget it. OSTK, I think they announced a secondary after the bell. I think. But OSTK is a short squeeze monster. Look at this. I mean, come on. It's not something I even look at. Somebody mentioned CAT. That had a nice move. Little put selling, a little call buying. You know what else had a nice move? Tranny's got hot. UNP had some nice action. Big roll, I think it was today. Look at that. It's a healthy stock, this UNP. People think like when they hear rotation, they think of like the banks and the cruise lines, the airlines. There's an in-between that looks really healthy. And the trannies are a part of that, UNP. Caterpillar, URI, United Rentals. That's a go-to rotation play. Look how healthy that looks. Yeah, Qualcomm has seen action. There's been a nice uptick in action in Qualcomm for a while, but caught some more action today. Tree saying she played DD and the Industrials. DD was nice. DD was nice. You flip DD or you're holding DD? Demo says Fastly's a buy here. Nice, Tree. Nice. Corn. Yeah, corn caught some action. What is it? Just a corn ETF? Corn. Nice spot. Nice spot. What do you like about it, Rogelio? Yeah, besides the sweep, I'm saying, do you like corn as a play or really nice spot down here? Yeah. So, there's been that inflation theme a little bit out there, right? And that's a real nice spot for a squeeze. All right. If you're ever going to buy this thing, it would be now. Even if you just get one of these nonsense squeezes like this. Oh, look at this thing. Corn on the cob has been decimated. But yeah, squeeze sweeper. Cool. Nice job, Rogelio. Yep, like lumber, exactly. There's definitely some commodity movement going on out there. What else you guys got? Yeah, corn was a short. What was the strike, Rogelio, on the corn? Do you remember offhand? What month? August. So yeah, it was short, Todd. Yeah, the sweep, August. Thank you. AAXN. Nice breather. This thing's erratic, though. It catches action from time to time, but you can see it goes into these phases quite often, right? So this looks totally normal. We'll see if we see any action. Sometimes he'll catch sweeper activity. MLCO caught nice action today, but it's earnings positioning. This thing is notoriously known for earnings flow. And I know the casinos have been hot, but you got earnings. I think, oh no, earnings today? Yeah, Amazon caught a weekly sweep if you want to play for a bounce. Just one weekly sweep, if you like it. They were weeklies, though. Yeah, I got planned. I try not to get too excited when it runs. I try not to get too pissed off at it when it sells. I got time. It's been in this sideways spider web for a while. So I told you, there are three options. My position goes to zero. I hit a nice score out of it. Or when, what's his face? When the riffraff get long, I'm going to be out no matter where it is. TNA, JoJo, did you catch TNA? That was another missed opportunity on my end. I wanted to actually buy a little TNA from there with some time behind it, but you scalped it? Cool. Nice job. Micron, yeah, Micron again. These all, they look okay. They're just stuck in this web right now, Stuck in this web. Again, I might buy Micron back. I might buy those Octobers back, but I'm not interested in swinging much right now. Plan is Micron. It might be. I think a lot of these names are like that, especially now, John, you know? A lot of these names are just chopping away here. Yeah, I don't know. Micron got hit. I wouldn't necessarily call that a hit. I think this is just Micron. This is Micron. This is what it does. You know, this is what it does. But if the market has further upside and the semis have further upside, Micron should participate, you know, but it's a tough one to own, right? You'd rather own like LRCX because it's a mover. Micron got hit off WDC earnings. Micron earnings were good. Yep. But look at AMD, right? AMD was a big pain in the ass for how long? And then when it finally got out, it got out. All you were cursing out AMD. Don't tell me now AMD is the chosen one. You guys were calling this thing, I hate to tell you what names you were calling this thing. You know, they were just in long consolidation. Baba, you got earnings there, so I don't really have much of an opinion till then. You have earnings, so it's pretty much a crapshoot. Billy, you have earnings. I would probably wait for earnings on all these things. TSM had a little put action, but nothing major. But you know, look at the move. Net still looks good. Still looks good. You know, just tactical. I hate to do it to you guys, but you know, that's the way I would look at these things for now. So maybe you get a bounce like from the bottom of the range back to mid top of the range. But for more than that, you got to get lucky. You know, and you're risking a breakdown. You know, it could still, these things could still, you know, this thing could break down and still be okay. Not short term, but overall. You know, these things are in the midst of some selling. It could turn into a correction. Definitely can. Look, you know, look. It's not like you just discovered net. A lot of people talking about this net now. A lot of people. How many times? If I say tactical 8 times, we get a pull. Paul, you're a comedian. Square, yeah, Square. I'm going to say it again, Paul. Tell her. Square, tactically. You know, you're getting close there where you look at bounce. You know, like look at these names you want more out of, right? You got Niners here, upside Niners. They busted through a Niner already. Like it gets sticky up here now. It gets sticky. Kathy likes Square down here too. You know, even Kathy stocks don't go up forever. That's Tree, that's what we want to keep an eye out for, is if this rotation theme lasts, right? What we're going to see is you're going to see like what happened to DD today. You're going to see these things start to reverse and maybe some selling or consolidation, right? And then we're going to see, do they come in and rebuy these things, or do they go into tech off a dip? And we'll have our answers to where we want to look. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah. And some of them have had nice dips, you know, Tree. So it's worth now. It's worth it. Yeah, they're smooth. You know what it is, Tree? A lot of the tech, especially the newer companies, you know, they don't have the supply. Like, look, DD, you got to understand, you know how many hands are involved in DD? You know how many people got stuck in this thing, owning this thing from here? Every time it creeps higher, there's going to be headwind, you know? So it feels like they weigh 10,000 pounds. Yeah, and they're the new leadership. Exactly, like the weed stocks, exactly. Those are the new leaders. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You know, there's going to be phases where they need to breathe and they're going to go into all these, you know, old names that have been around. But it's all about new leaders, especially when it comes to like investing. You know, those are the names you want to buy on dips and off corrections and put them away. You know, these have done their thing. They've all done their thing. You know, sometimes they come back to life, like Microsoft, who rearranged their whole business and got into cloud in a big way. But more than likely, a lot of these names, they turn out to be like IBM. You know, there's rallies, but for the most part, it's a lot of agita. SRNE has been a monster. I mean, like you can't look at this anymore. It's gone. You couldn't get any more obvious here, right? SRNE when the action picked up. They were buying it hand over fist out of here. Hand over fist. And then the stock went from 8 to 20. That's it. You wash your hands with it. Good night. You know, good night. It's over. You can't start looking at these things up here now. You can't. You know, you go through another phase like this, a breather, then maybe you consider it. You know, but this is a big move. This is a big move. It's a big move. There's another biotech. Did any of you guys catch that little biotech? I don't know if it pulled back the last couple of days. There's a little biotech. It was catching a sweep, multiple sweeps every day. Anybody remember the ticker? Would it? Yeah. TRVN. The tickle. This thing. Still a cheap stock, right? Liquid biopsy. Oh, that was a P something. You talk about the Kathy stock? I forgot. It was a tricky symbol. The other one she likes is BLI. The recent IPO got hit recently. See, like these names, when they start to get going, you have no sellers. You know? Not like Dow DuPont. That's why you see those crazy moves when they heat up, like D-Dog, right? When D-Dog finally got hot, it was like nothing's in the way. Whoop. Like Dow DuPont's not doing that. You know, unless you're Clorox, where you catch a virus and, oh my God, I can't look at Clorox. Come on. Clorox? Know what it is for this thing to move like this? Yeah, that's exactly why, Kevin. Hudel. I remember this one. Yep. Yeah, a couple of these names got hit. ILMN. That one got hit here recently off earnings. You know, so you got corrections there too. See, this is what I'm saying. You got corrections in quite a few things right now. IBB as a whole. Let's see, IBB. Might be a buy signal sentiment-wise, IBB. It was pretty close. even though I don't know how IBB, a lot of the biotechs I look at have all been doing well. Bristol Myers court action, that had a nice day today. SFIX. Yeah, nice spot. Nice spot. Does the real do what SFIX does? What's the real? So retail, John, here. This is all I got to show you. XRT. Look at it. All right? I couldn't believe my eyes when I hit it up. Look at XRT. Can you imagine? Can you imagine that if I told you right in the heart of the fear of the virus that XRT by the summer was going to be up here? Retail? Retail. Unbelievable. Yeah, when the Fed gives you money, I guess anything's possible. W, there was actually some size put action in here today. Look at this move. Stupid. So the real is retail. Is that new economy retail, the real? Somebody's got to know what they do. It is? So online, interesting. New economy. So I'm going to keep it on my screen. It's real. I have it on my screen, but I'm going to keep it on the screen where I look at it every day. It's like eBay. Interesting. Wasn't there a scam? I'm thinking maybe another one. Oh, wait. It was this one I'm thinking of. Revolve, relive, Yeah. Which one's the scam one? Revolve? Oh, Real had the scandal. Okay. With the lady CEO, I think I seen her on Kramer. Yeah. Right. Yeah, so you've had, there was put selling in this Real, and now, we've seen some call buying. The bet today I really liked, that Fed order. That was a legit bet. Not, a spec bet or anything like that. This is a legitimate sweep right here. Not a lot of money, 170 grand, but for this name was legit. They laid wood. That's a good looking order. So I have it on my screen now. Maybe you get a big short covering squeeze too eventually. Had a big move today before it faded. Strong move today. So I'll keep it on my screen. Reseller of name branded stuff. Oh, okay. So they sell all the, I remember the interview. And they had, I think, a scam because the counterfeits and stuff, I think that was the problem, right? Yeah. All right, worth keeping an eye on anyway. See what happens. Even maybe dips, they hit it again. Any other names? Interesting? See, that's why I like talking to you guys. I'm not up to date with all this new tech stuff. So it wasn't so real. Well played. PD, that's pager duty, right? You got earnings coming up when? September. This name caught action a few times, nothing major, had a little rally and then right back down, just has been steady. You just want to bite on dips. You have earnings early September. Doesn't catch a lot of flow, but from time to time. Apps, I know that name. Oh, wow. I didn't see that move. Gary, those three are tough. I like Micron the best out of the three. Micron, Intel, and WDC. Yeah, that had a hell of a run, though, Jemiah. Hell of a run. I mean, come on. That was a big move. You did well there. You did well. Earnings tomorrow? Oh. And you're holding earnings, you're holding equity through earnings, you nut job? You like to live dangerously, huh? Why not? It's only money. It's only money. Only money. Yeah, all these names starting to look good again, right? AYX had that big correction off earnings. We'll see if we see any action. Has a tendency to get some big orders when they want it. MDB, look at MDB. Healthy. All right? Big mover, this MDB. You catch it right, and they're ready to turn. Big mover. Big mover. What was that other name? It was like a Pluralsight? I don't remember the one. Band. This trades options band? Well, this just started to sell now. Oh, e-liquid? This just started to sell. This had a hell of a run. Wow. You know, you look at some of these runs. It's amazing how these things haven't had corrections a long time ago. And this might not even be any correction per se. It could be just a dip. I mean, some of them are worse than others, but Twilio has that been hanging in. I mean, that's nothing. That's nothing. All right, that's nothing. This thing had this major gap up here and then tacked on that. Unreal. So far, Twilio, this is just exactly what it's been doing so far. This is nothing. You know, nothing. Katos, I haven't looked at that. Let me see. That ruined a nice trade earnings there. Ooh, so earnings are gone? I would like to see them hit it again post earnings. I like this stock, Katos. I like it. Yeah. You saw that RTX has been moving, had some flow again today, RTX. But, you know, you see, you overstay your welcome in some of these names. They're a real pain in the butt. Box. Nice breather there, too. All right. A lot of candidates out there. NOC, Northwood Grumman. Oh, is this the stronger one out of the bunch? And GD. A lot of people starting to like these names again. Look at this, though, right? You remember how hot these things were when Trump was putting all that money into the military and all? They were the strongest names on the face of the earth, contract after contract. And then, look, you know, just this lasted a little longer than a lot of people thought, right? People thought it was going to end probably right here, I would say. But they can't go up forever. They can't go up forever. These things had crazy runs. Look at this. Come on. You know what I mean? Look. What a move. Yeah. I guess the election's a big deal for these things. Right? You got the election risk coming up too. Who knows how that plays out? You know, that's why maybe they hide in software again at some point. We'll see how it plays out. We'll see how it plays out. Right? But like we've been saying, I think we're at a crucial spot where we're going to get answers, right? We're getting earnings out of the way, even though we still got NVIDIA. NVIDIA is going to be interesting off earnings. What do you guys think? They take some profit off the news, or this is going to be interesting. ALB, that used to be a stud. Oh, look at it. Showing some life here. Maybe a breakout of this downtrend. It's got a lot of work to do, though. See here? Look at this. I thought this one was going to be the one, but then the virus came around. I was positioned for this, and then I had to take a whole bunch of stuff off the table. Freeport I owned at the time, FCX, Mosaic. Sharpies got short. Turned the whole thing upside down. Yeah, NVIDIA, I really don't even have a feel, you know. Probably needs to come in a little bit, but that doesn't mean anything. You know, but even if it goes higher, like Square, I think it's not going to go anywhere too far. So in other words, you might get, you know, a gap up, and then you get this right after it. So if you're looking for an entry, you want, obviously, a gap down, sell on the news NVIDIA. But we'll see how it plays out, guys, all right? So you know the T word, right? Tactical is still the way to go here. All right, eventually things will loosen up. Somehow, some way they'll loosen up, and some decent risk-reward opportunities will open up. Sell it. Exactly. You got a little profit there? You got a little profit there? That's what you got to think. That's my client. I had a client, Dr. Sniper, and anytime I would gas up a stock to him with a story, he'd make me tell the whole thing. The whole pitch I would go through. I think I got him for like $1 million trade. And then at the very end, he'd be like, sell it every time. Yeah. I was at a couple different houses, so cool. Yeah, I got licensed at 97. I got licensed 97. 1998 is where I started really getting my beak wet. So I've been around the block in this game. Yeah, he had no conviction, but you know what he did, John? Which would piss me off. He waited to the very end, right? He wouldn't tell me he wasn't going to do anything. He waited to the very end after all my energy, and then, oh, so you just not that long ago, Sim, huh? Yeah. All right, good luck. Good luck to you. All right, boys and girls, always a pleasure. If you're new, wallstreetjesus.com. Go to the site, get some more information there, okay? Otherwise, enjoy the rest of the week. Good luck. Stay patient, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Stay safe, everybody.